Good morning, everybody. Matt Modi here to give you my favorite NBA player prop picks today. We're talking Thursday, January 9th. The Splash Zone is back in your life with 4 NBA player prop picks to lock in for tonight's NBA betting slate. Yeah, as I mentioned, 4 plays for you guys, 3 of which are, of course, our plus money bangers. Real quick, before we get into today's picks, got to do a recap from yesterday, which felt really gross in the moment. Ended up being a pretty good day overall. Now, we only got 3 of our 6 plays to cash, so 3 wins, 3 losses. But thanks to the fact that we played these plus money bangers, we were up over a unit. So for everybody complaining about why I take these plus odds plays, last night is the perfect example of why. If I had just taken every single play at the main line, we would have been 3-3 and we would have lost money. Instead, I pumped up the plays that I thought were worthy of pumping up. We went 3-3. We were up over a unit. So that's exactly why I do what I do with these plus money bangers. Obviously, I don't force it, so I don't pump up every single play, but when you can, I do, and it worked out yesterday. Unfortunately, on the entire season, I'm not going to pretend things have been amazing. We're up over 3 units on the year, so we're basically a little bit above breaking even on the entire season. So it's been a pretty hit or miss year overall. You know, every time we have a good run, we have a brutal cold streak. And then right after that brutal cold streak, we have a nice run. I just haven't been able to quite find consistency. Hopefully that starts tonight with the 4 plays that I have on tap for you guys. Remember to like the video, comment, subscribe. Check out the links in the description of the video. And we can get right into it. So as always, we're going through, not as always, recently what I've been doing is going through Props Madness to kind of walk you through why I'm betting, what I am betting. I appreciate everybody in the comments yesterday that let me know their thoughts. Majority of people liked this format better, so my apologies to the people that didn't, but I'm just going with the majority. It's a democracy, how we do things here. Again, majority of people appreciated walking through and kind of showing you what I'm talking about. So I appreciate everybody who commented. And maybe in the future, I'll just have people comment random stuff just because it's kind of fun reading through the comments. So for today, what I'm going to ask you to comment is let me know your favorite chocolate bar. It's random, but I love reading through kind of random comments like that. So mine is the Milky Way. Let me know your favorite chocolate bar in the comments. But now let's talk basketball. So the first play that I'm locking in here, and again, I'm just going in order of the games. I'm actually going right back to Malik Beasley. So we bet him yesterday. He came through for us. He scored 23 points. It's all about the minutes and it's all about the volume and then the matchup too, which we'll get into. But as we see yesterday, he scored 23 points. He shot 9 of 17 from the field and he shot 4 of 11 from 3-point range. Those are phenomenal field goal attempts for someone only needing to score 20 points. So I took him 20 plus points. This is plus 165 odds at FanDuel. It's literally the same exact bet that I took yesterday. I know everybody thinks that he's like this every other kind of guy. Not necessarily. I mean, we've seen him hit 2 straight games before, 28, 26, 23, 23, 26, 20, 26, 21, 21, 22. So it's been every other recently, but it's not like he's incapable of playing well 2 games in a row. And there are a couple of reasons why we are on this play. I've talked about this a lot on my YouTube channel, but no Jaden Ivey. He scored 20 or more points in 5 of 7 games without Jaden Ivey. And again, it's all about the field goal attempts. Every single game except for one, he's shot, I think, 15 or more field goal attempts. We see 17, 18, 26. That's amazing. 16, 17, and then this one where he shot 1 of 10, so just didn't shoot nearly as much. So only 10, and then 17. So it's 6 of 7 games he shot at least 15 field goal attempts. So if we just take out Jaden Ivey and we just put in, okay, how many times does he score 20 points when he puts up, let's call it 15. That's a little bit low, but let's just call it 15. He's done that in 12 of 17 games, 70%, and he's averaging over 20 points per game as well. So there's another thing that I like with Jaden Ivey are his minutes. So the first one, 26, 44. He scored 26 points. 44 minutes, 41 minutes, 35 minutes, 31, 33, 29, so a little bit lower, and then 33. So we can, at minimum, rely on him playing 30 or more minutes. He'll probably play more than that. But let's look at games in which he's played at least 30 minutes because that's almost guaranteed what he's getting. And let's just look from 30 to like 38 because 44 is an outlier. So we just look when he plays from like 30 and 38 minutes. He's scored 20 or more points in 8 of 12 games, and he's averaging about 12 points per game. So a lot of reasons to like this for Beasley. And we haven't even talked about my favorite reason, which is the matchup. The Warriors allow the second most spot-up points in the entire NBA. Not only does Malik Beasley score the majority of his points via spot up, he scores the majority of his points on the he is the player on the Pistons that has the most spot up points per game. And as we can see, similar players, spot up shooters to Malik Beasley, 9 of the last 15 have hit their point prop over against the Warriors. And just go through the games. I mean, the Kevin Huerter, catch and shoot guy. Max Strus went under. Norm Powell, DiVincenzo, Klay Thompson, Quentin Grimes, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. So DiVincenzo went under 2 games in a row. Grayson Allen put up 17. Klay again. Powell again. It's all these spot up shooters having success against the Warriors. And I even looked into this a little bit more. I mean, the Warriors are a catch and shoot type of defense. So you see, like, they don't allow a lot of points to the pick and roll ball handler. It's because they are aggressive getting the ball out of the pick and roll ball handler's hands, which means they give up a lot of catch and shoot, a lot of spot up. And again, so on the year, I looked this up on NBA.com, they've given up the 3rd highest frequency of shots against them are catch and shoot, just catch and shoot shots in general, with the majority of those obviously being catch and shoot 3-pointers. And Malik Beasley has scored the 2nd most points in the entire NBA via catch and shoot opportunities. So I love this play on Malik Beasley. I know we just went with him yesterday, but he came through for us, and it's not like he's incapable of playing well 2 games in a row. Like, if we just look at his entire season and we look at the over 19.5, missed it in the first, looks like whatever games in a row, a lot. But then he had like 5 games in a row where he cashed it, 2 games here, 2 games here. So he's not just an every other guy, which I know people like to think. So that's our first play, Malik Beasley, 20 plus points, plus 165 odds at FanDuel. The next bet that I took was Thompson. I took him over 17.5 points. You can actually get this. So the over 17.5 is plus 105 at ESPN Bet. So this over 17.5, you see the minus 110. That's not the best price. The best price is plus 105 at ESPN Bet, and that's what I took. So you're looking at the hit rate, you're going to see he's only hit it in 9 of 24 games. So that's not that impressive. But similar to the injury news, no Jabari Smith Jr., and it's only been 2 games, but he scored 20 or more points in both of those games, 23 and 20. Now, I'm just taking him over 17.5. I didn't quite feel this was worthy of a ladder climb to 20 plus, so I just took over 17.5. But he has scored 20 plus in both games without Jabari Smith Jr. And more importantly are his minutes, 41, 41. And also importantly are his shot attempts, 8 and 19. Now, he's not going to go 7 of 8 from every single game, but he's probably also not going to score 19 or attempt 19 field goals every single game. But if we just kind of limit it to games, I mean, he's played 40 minutes. That's crazy. If we just limit it to games, let's just call it 35. Let's just be a little bit safer. Games in which he's played 35 minutes. He's hit the over in 7 of 8 games. And the way that he's playing against, I mean, this is a big game against the Grizzlies. He's a young guy. So even though he played 41 minutes yesterday, he could easily play another 40 minutes again. They're going to play him a ton of minutes. And it's a good matchup against the Grizzlies. I mean, as you can see, the top 2 in terms of play types where Thompson's points come from, transition, 4th most points per game via transition, and he likes to get to the line. 3rd most points per game via free throws. Now, unfortunately, we don't get defensive data off of cuts, so I can't give you that, whether that's good or bad. But even like the next 3 play types, they're not amazing, but they're all below average. I mean, that's 11th most, that's 13th most, or 12th most, and 12th most. So, excuse me. 2 of the top 2 play types are amazing. 3rd one, we don't know. And then the next 3 are all still above average. So it's a really good matchup for Thompson. I also like the fact that if you just look at pace, the Grizzlies play at literally the number 1 pace in the entire NBA, which makes sense why they also give up so many transition points. So Thompson, I mean, you can't look at his hit rate on the year because it's just a totally different situation with him with the injury. But again, we look at games in which he's played 35 minutes, which I think he's probably going to play closer to like 38. But if we just look at games in which he's played 35 minutes, averaging 19.6 points per game, he's he's hit the over in 7 of 8 games. So this is my second play, Thompson over 17.5 points, plus 105 odds at ESPN Bet. So the next bet that I took was in this Heat versus Jazz game. And I took Walker Kessler, and I took him over 11.5 rebounds. It's plus 100 basically everywhere. I mean, DraftKings, BetMGM, ESPN Bet, FanDuel as well. Over 11.5 rebounds. Couple reasons why I like this one. A lot of it has to do with the matchup. And he's been rebounding pretty well recently. Like, this last game wasn't great. 10 rebounds on 16 rebound chances. I still really like that rebound percentage from chances to potentials. Or the opposite of that, rebound chances to actual rebounds. But then game before that, 17. 16 on 25 and 24, then only 8 rebounds on 17, but then 13, 11 would have just given us the hook. On the year, he's only hit in 11 of 24 games, but if you look at his last 10, it's a little bit better. It's 6 of 10, averaging over 12.5 rebounds per game in that stretch as well. There are a ton of dudes out for the Jazz. I mean, no John Collins, no Jordan Clarkson, no Keontae George. Bryce Sensabaugh is game time decision. Now, Lauri Markkanen is back. In some of these games, you see where he played well. Lauri Markkanen was out. But what's important here, a game against the Heat, 24 rebound chances, and Lauri Markkanen played in this game. So I'm not really concerned that Lauri Markkanen is in because Walker Kessler is going to be up against Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo is mostly going to keep you closer to the basket, which means that more rebound chances for the center. And to give you guys some data to back that up, so Walker Kessler had 16. 7 of 11 of players with a similar rebounding profile to Walker Kessler have hit their rebound prop over against the Heat. And it's all the names you would think of. I mean, it's Kessler did it, Şengün did it, Capella did not do it, but his rebounds have been terrible this year. Hartenstein had 18. Jakob Poeltl missed it in 2 games, but then he cashed it in 1 game. Jared Allen missed, but then Dan Gafford, Rudy Gobert, Nick Richards, they all cashed. And if we just go by position, don't even look at rebounding profile, 10 of the last 15 centers in general have hit their rebound prop against the Miami Heat. And again, you go through the list, it's guys that you would expect. Poeltl, Plumlee. Yeah, then Allen and Poeltl missed, but Duren did it. Hartenstein, Goga, Claxton, Sharp. It's all these kind of big guys that are going to stay close to the basket. They get a lot of rebounds against the Miami Heat. And I don't really have much more analysis than that. That's really what it comes down to. I mean, he's been good. He has a great matchup, and he literally just did it against them. Collected 16 rebounds. We only need the over 11.5 in this one. That is our third play. And then our last, fourth, and final pick of the video. There's a lot of good matchups in this Hawks versus Suns game. I ended up going with Bradley Beal, but I actually went with his points plus assists. Now, this is probably a bet that a lot of people are going to hate. I took over 19.5. I got it at minus 105. Looks like that's still available. This is the exact bet that I took, over 19.5 at minus 105. I know a lot of people were on him last game. He only scored 10 points. He shot 5 of 13 from the field, so that did not look good. But it's a good matchup against the Hawks from both a points and an assist perspective. So I just combined them. And this also has to do a lot with Bradley Beal's new role playing in the second unit. So first of all, he's averaged 20 on the season. So right off the bat, we're betting on him within his average. And I actually think his average is going to go higher with his new role. He's playing the second unit. He's not sharing as much time with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, which means he's able to kind of run the show. And if you look at the matchup, it's pretty good against the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, spot up is how he scores the majority of his points, but that is with his old role. With his new role, he's running a lot more pick and rolls. Now, unfortunately, the NBA.com, this is not a props madness thing. This is an NBA thing. They don't allow you to filter play type by a certain time frame. So we can only look at his pick and roll ball handling on the season. What we can see here, though, is that it still counts for the second most of his points, in that he scores, in that the Hawks allow the most points per game to pick and roll ball handlers. So it's a really, really good matchup from a scoring perspective. And even kind of similar to the Amen Thompson thing, let's just look at the top. I mean, the Hawks are a terrible defense, so they're a good matchup in a lot of ways. But if you just look at the top, what's this, 8 categories? Every single one of them is below average. One of them is the best. One of them is really good. A couple more below average. And then the third best matchup for that possibility. So really good matchup for him to score. As you can see, 6 of 7 players with his scoring profile, which the names you think of, Tyler Hero, Irving, Steph missed it, but then Poole hit it in 3 straight games. These kind of slashing guards who can run pick and roll, who aren't quite going to pull up from deep at a ton of range, aside from Steph, but can pull up, also can drive to the hoop. I mean, we see a nice balanced shot chart for Bradley Beal. And then from the assist perspective, this is just really going off of his new role. I mean, his over-under assist is 3.5 at minus 115. He's hit that in exactly half of his games this year, so that's not exactly terrifying. What I like is if we go to his last 2 games, are his potential assists. And this also makes sense. He's running more offense. He's running more pick and rolls. So he's going to have more points to score or chances to score and more chances to play make. His last 2 games, 8 potential assists, 9 potential assists. So his over-under is 3.5. We're asking him to get, on average, 4 or more assists and 16 or more points. I already talked about why I like the points. I like the assists as well. If you just wanted to take this straight up, over 3.5, I think is good. I wanted to combine it with the points for reasons I just mentioned. But if we're asking him to have a 50% conversion rate from potential to actual assists, that's something that's pretty reasonable. And if we just filter games this year where he's had, let's just call it 7 potential assists. He's hit the over in 6 of 10, so he's still gone over a majority of the time. And if we just bump this up to 8, he's had, sorry, let me actually, here we go. Okay, so when he's had 8 or more potential assists, he's had 4 or more assists in 8 of 10 games. And we go back down to 7. It's 9 of 13. So I wasn't looking at the full data when I was looking at it before. It's 9 of 13 games in which he's had 7 potential assists that he's had 4 or more. So a lot of reasons to like Bradley Beal, both from his points and his assists. So I just decided to combine the two. Bradley Beal over 19.5 points plus assists. Again, this was -105 odds at ESPN Bet. This one right here. And that's all we got. 4 bangers. Bradley Beal over 19.5 points plus assists. Malik Beasley, 20 plus points. Walker Kessler over 11.5 rebounds. And our last play, our fourth and final one, was Thompson. There we go. Over 17.5 points as our 4 picks of the video. I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to comment your favorite candy bar. Comment your favorite chocolate bar, actually. Mine was Milky Way. Comment that. Like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out the links in the description of the video if you want to support the channel. Props Madness, I can get you 25% off. I have a dub club where I send every pick out for $5 a month. So check all that stuff out if you are interested. Regardless, I appreciate everybody for watching, and have a good one.